All right, let's talk about something really important happening in higher education today. Why is it that so many bright tech graduates with brand new degrees in hand are finding it so tough to land that first job? We're going to dive into how educators can close that skills gap, especially in one of the hottest fields out there, the Internet of Things, or IoT. Let's get into it.
Wow. I mean, this quote from an employer, it really just says it all, doesn't it? It points to this huge, frustrating gap between what students are learning in a lecture hall and what companies actually need them to do when they show up for work.
So that just begs the question, right? If the theory is being taught and students are acing their exams, then what is the missing piece of the puzzle? What's not happening in their education that's causing them to freeze up on a real practical task?
And that really gets to the heart of the problem. We're talking about a massive gap between theory and practice. Technology moves so incredibly fast, and sometimes the curriculum just can't keep up. This creates this chasm where students know the concepts, but they can't quite apply them in a real-world, fast-paced job. So what's the missing piece? Well, it's not another textbook chapter. It's not one more lecture. It's real, authentic, hands-on experience. Students need to be playing with, building on, and troubleshooting the exact same IoT platforms that are out there in the real world right now. In smart cities, in modern farms, you name it. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we actually build a solid bridge between the academic world and the demands of the industry? Well, a huge part of that bridge, maybe the most important part, is industry-recognized certification. And listen, in industry certification, it's so much more than just another piece of paper to hang on the wall. It's actual, tangible proof that a graduate can do the job. It's like a stamp of approval that tells an employer, hey, this person knows their stuff. They've already proven they can work on the platforms we actually use. And that right there is incredibly valuable.
And that's where companies who specialize in this kind of thing come into the picture. A company like Favoriot, for example, has pretty much made it their mission to be that bridge. They do it by partnering up directly with colleges and universities to offer this exact kind of hands-on, platform-based certification.
So you might be wondering, okay, that sounds good, but how does it actually work in practice? Well, for a school or a university that wants to get involved, it's pretty straightforward. It usually comes down to two clear, flexible ways you can offer these certifications to your students. Let's look at the two models. First up, you can embed the training right into the classes you already teach. Super simple, and this is key, no extra class time needed for the students. The other way is to offer it as its own thing, like a special workshop or a short course. This is awesome for creating things like micro-credentials. So let's break down that first path, embedding it in the syllabus. Step 1, the educators themselves get certified on the platform. Then they bring that platform right into their existing classes as the main hands-on tool. Students use it for their projects, and at the end, they graduate with a powerful certificate that's jointly issued by the school and the company. All right, now for path number 2, the separate course. Again, it starts with the educators getting certified, but here they design a whole dedicated workshop or short course around the platform. This is a super flexible approach, and at the end, students get a specific completion certificate straight from the industry partner. Now, I've said this twice, but it's so important I'm going to say it again. There's one critical, non-negotiable requirement for both of these models to work. The educators must get certified first. This is an absolute must. It guarantees that the training is high quality and that the instructors are fully prepared to guide their students. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But let's get to the most important part, the why. What's in it for everyone? What makes these partnerships such a win-win for the schools, the teachers, and of course, for the students? Well, a strong industry partner brings a ton to the table. First off, their platform needs to have real industry recognition. I mean, it has to be something companies are actually using. It also needs to be easy enough for beginners to jump into, but powerful enough for advanced projects, maybe even post-grad research. That scalability is just crucial. And for the students, man, this is where it gets really exciting. The biggest benefit, by far, is enhanced employability. This is what makes their resume jump to the top of the pile. And right behind that is the confidence they get from real hands-on experience. You put those together, and you've got a graduate with a serious competitive edge. Look, what this all boils down to is a really fundamental shift in learning. We're moving from passive learning to active doing. Students aren't just memorizing facts for a test anymore. They're building, they're troubleshooting, and they're solving real-world problems with industry-standard tools. When you take a step back and zoom out, you realize this is about way more than just one piece of technology or one company. This is actually a blueprint for the future of education, A future focused on building a generation of graduates who are truly ready for the workforce from day one.
And here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. The future of impactful higher education is going to be built on smart, strategic industry collaboration. That's it. That's how we close the skills gap, and it's how we make sure what's taught in the classroom translates directly into career success.
So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about, especially for all the educators and academic leaders out there. When your students walk across that graduation stage to get their diploma, are they simply job seekers, holding a piece of paper and a lot of hope? Or are they job-ready professionals, equipped with certified skills to make an immediate impact?